This is the Nerf Ultra Challenge.
Me and Eddie have got experience. We used to play this when we was younger.
I'll let the blaster do the tongs.
AFTV got Kenny. Look, I ain't spoken to you for ages, man. First of all, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, man. And your Christmas would have been brighter after that result. That was much better, wasn't it?
I must admit, we had it in us because we had the players, we had the pace of Martinelli, we had Lacazette who's got the experience, we had to freshen up with Smith Rowe, and we were angry as well. We're very hurt. The results have hurt us very badly, not just the fans. But what I asked from the players as well is that I asked them in my Twitter feed, I said, look, put your differences aside towards this manager. I know a lot of the players ain't feeling him. I'm not playing for him. They got the ump with him. They don't trust him anymore. But just from now on, just play for yourselves. Forget about any sort of enmity you have towards manager. Just play for the badge. And that's what they did today. Chelsea, the pressure on Chelsea today was immense because, everyone expected to win comfortably, me included. I ain't going to lie about that as well. I'll be alive. I didn't think we'll win it. But today, we're on the front foot, and that's what we've got to do. I must say, the first 10 minutes, I thought we should have probably been a goal up, and then Chelsea can't control the game. But they weren't controlling the game in a way that we should be worried. They weren't, working lane. They were getting in nice areas. But what was happening as well, we held our own. We put our foot in. We always had that outlet with Martinelli, and he was key today as well. Martinelli and Tierney, for the first goal, really, really key. And I think when we got that first goal, that's when the confidence went up, because I think the problem we've had in a lot of games is that we're not scoring the first goal. And I think with Arteta's teams, if you score the first goal when you play for Arsenal, you've got a very good chance of avoiding defeat. But it's when we concede, that's when we got a problem. And I think that's been a lot of things. Also, the lack of quality as well is an issue, and the manager's tactics. But today, London derby, we know we can beat Chelsea, and I think that's the most important thing today.
Yeah, the thing is about it is, I think something quite significant in what you said. They started quickly. That's one thing we have not done, particularly in the home games this season. Not got off to it's almost like we get to half time and then it's like that's when the players realise that, hey, we need to up it. I think of the game against Burnley and games like that where we were just coasting along. Today, like you said, I mean, you described it as angry players. There was something about them right from minute one. They were on it.
Well, definitely, players like Grant Xhaka has been very much criticised as well. He'd have been very angry with himself because of what happened with Burnley, getting criticised by the fans again. He'd be frustrated with his manager as well because, with Thomas Partey coming to the side, his chances in the team are limited because Thomas Partey and Elneny look good together, and the manager prefers that kind of pairing. So I think he knows deep down he's not first choice, that it's the player he actually trusts is Elneny. So he's going to be angry. Lacazette's going to be angry as well because I know he scored against Man City, but he'd be very disappointed and mistrusted his manager because the game against Everton, a big game against a very tough side, he was left out for Eddie Nketiah, a young lad who works, but probably hasn't got the quality of him. So he was really angry players. And most important thing is this, they did it for themselves. I'm not convinced they're playing for this manager because I think there's still problems with his man management and there's tactical selection as well because, let's not beat around the bush. Had, William Bodge de Silva been fit, David Luiz being fit and Gabriel being fit, now that we're not being a COVID scare, it's highly likely, and I say highly likely, that they probably would have played this game because of their seniority. They would have got this game. So, what's happening now? You've got to play for yourselves. And I think that's the mantra that Arsenal have to take going into these kind of matches because, we are still in a relegation battle. And I noticed that you've been questioned a lot by loads of channels. Chelsea channels have been questioning you. And your theme is the relegation battle. A lot of Arsenal fans are in denial, but that is what we're in, and we've got to show some fight.
Listen, we've been in it, man. I've said, the results have been relegation form, and therefore, and we're down near it, and therefore we're in a relegation battle. But that was a big step today. Now, what interestingly, what I'd like to ask you, because you alluded to it, that some of those changes that were made that I thought, Smith Rowe, brilliant. Martinelli, brilliant. Saka, those three behind Lacazette, they were brilliant today. So much energy, right? I wonder if, I mean, Willian was sick. So he could be back if he could be back for the next game. Luiz, I think, is a bit of a different situation, but surely he can't be looking to bring back those players after he saw the energy that those kids brought today.
Yeah, but you've got to realise, right? It's at the end of the day, it's about a group of games. It's only one game. Remember, it's Chelsea you're playing. A lot of these kids are London lads. So Saka, West London boy, he's probably got mates who are Chelsea, so he's going to be up for that game. Smith Rowe, Croydon lads, London Derby's going to be up for that as well. It's Chelsea. If you can't get yourself up to Chelsea at home, then you're not going to be out. But they're, 3 points. But the bread and butter games now, because of the situation we've got ourselves in, is West Brom away, Brighton away. Then you've got Crystal Palace at home, Newcastle, we've got Southampton, Man United as well. Teams on paper, so I'm talking about, not so much Newcastle, but, Southampton and Man United are better than us. Newcastle, they're very much in the same position as us in terms of like their problems in terms of like scoring goals. There's a lot of fans are against Steve Bruce's kind of football, even though they had that kind of play against Rafa Benitez. But it's those kind of games. Another thing as well, again, he is going to go to those players, even though, because simple reason is that they all brought in because they're the sort of players that he trusts. They're his allies. Players like William Bosch de Silva and David Luiz, all right, they're a bit upset with him and they've got the hump with him, but he can't trust certain players. Lacazette is not an ally to him. Lacazette is an ally of Guendouzi and Mesut Ozil, as is Aubameyang. As far as Arteta is concerned, he has to work with them, but they're the bad eggs. Let's not face it that Mesut Ozil got rid of in his squad, not for footballing reasons, it was for disciplinary reasons because he's a bad egg, but he's still got some of his allies. So he's still going to want players like, the 3 players or 2 players I mentioned as part of his think tank seniority. Another thing as well, they're very close to Edu Gasper as well because there's kind of players in Kia Jaropian. So as far as I'm concerned, that they're the players you're going to trust. So when they are fit, they will play. Not so, definitely William will play because William does what he tells him.
I can't bring these guys back now.
I can guarantee, Robbie, I guarantee you, William Bosch de Silva is going to play when he's fit because the simple reason is that if you
in front of who? In front of who? What? So what you were saying? He'd take out what Martinelli and put in Willian.
Willian plays in midfield. It's not a case of Mike say he'll take out Edmund Smith Rowe. You know he will because if he told,
I hope not. I certainly hope not.
But Arteta, if he told William Bosch de Silva to give Bellerin some protection, he'll give him protection. If he tells him to do that, he generally believes. If you ask Arteta right now, he believes William Bosch de Silva and David Luiz are playing good games because they're obeying instructions. So he's going to see a bigger picture than us. We're going to see their performances and lack of, assists and lack of goals. All he's going to see is what they're doing for his team.
Well, I certainly hope not. I certainly hope not. I certainly think he needs to look at what he saw today, which was young, hungry players out there. To me, players that wanted to, like you said, it was a London derby, and they went out there and they gave everything. And we need to see more of those players. Yeah,
but you've got to realise this manager's got a habit of doing things against the grain. Let's not forget that this kind of fell in his lap. He had no choice but to play these players. Not so much Martinelli, but Emil Smith Rowe, maybe Granit and Murray. These are players that got the games because his trusted players had a COVID scare. And let's not forget, this manager's very stubborn. He's going to take this victory for what it is, 3 points, but he's still got a set way of playing, and he's still got players, he trusts and he doesn't trust, and that's why you have to have caution to win, and that's why there are still going to be question marks about his suitability as our manager. Also, there's going to be question marks about the whole culture behind the scenes, because that's where you want to see fight. When we play Man at home on the 30th of January, that there's going to be fight. You know that. We know when we play Liverpool, there's going to be fight. We know when we play it. But what sort of endeavour are you going to see on Tuesday against Brighton. What are you going to see on Sunday against West Bromwich Albion? Those are the games which we have to win. Because I think what's happening is that a lot of people think we're Arsenal. We're the Arsenal. Let's just be Arsenal. You know, we will be the Arsenal when we start winning the trophies, like winning the league, competing for the league, winning in Europe and competing in Europe. That's when we're the Arsenal. Right now, we need to dust ourselves down, enjoy this win for what it is, but we need to think about tomorrow, which means one game at a time, same attitude, same endeavour, because I'll tell you one thing now, Brighton think are going to be up for it. They haven't won a home game all year except for when they beat us, and they think we're beatable, and they're going to be on that front foot, so you've got to be ready. So, enjoy the Chelsea game, but from Sunday and like Monday, it's all about Brighton because they are coming out of traps. And then you've got Sam Allardyce's West Bromwich Albion. Sam Allardyce generally believes he's a tactical genius in line with all the Italian coaches, and that he's got this tactical masterpiece to do Arsenal. Well, don't let him do it. Show what you're about, and then maybe, just maybe, the fans are going to start trusting the players, and the fans are going to get off the manager's back. But let's remember, the in-tray is the top four and winning in Europe. Now, if it doesn't look like he's doing that, then he's failed, and his position has to be talked about. And also, I still think that Edu and Vinay should be fearful for their jobs at the end of the season because they are part of the problem.